Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Dylan here. Today we have a major bombshell from nobody other than Megyn Kelly. She just stunned the Bill Maher audience by laying out the facts about transitioning. This is absolutely huge, and Megyn Kelly absolutely destroyed Bill Maher's narrative. You guys have to watch this. Before we dive in, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you all so much, and I believe Megyn Kelly did play such a big role in helping Donald Trump defeat Kamala Harris. So now, without further ado, let's tune in.
Almost equally important, maybe as important, is what we're doing to our children with this trans insanity. I mean, this is almost my single issue. We are chopping off the healthy body parts of young children without, 100% we are doing that.
Well, we are definitely doing that.
Without any inquisition.
That's what it is. So
into
I don't
what's
know what
happening.
the oohing is about.
I don't either. Pay attention.
So now even Bill Maher is agreeing with Megyn Kelly. That's pretty crazy.
I'm about to give you a truth bomb. Kids who are suffering from bullying or who have been sexually assaulted or who are going through normal puberty and feel uncomfortable in their bodies will say to their parents, I'm not sure, maybe I'm gender confused. They will send them into a psychiatrist or psychologist who are told by our organizations, the American Psychiatry Association and all the others that run their licensing, you must affirm. Affirm is the only standard. And so the child gets told, you're right, you are secretly a boy, or vice versa.
Yeah, you have to be 18 years old to go to the war. You have to be 21 to drink. You have to be 25 to rent a car from many businesses. But you don't have to be 18. You can be a minor and start getting gender-affirming care. Very weird.
And the child gets put on puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones, which sterilize the child and deprive the child of any chance of sexual pleasure for the rest of his or her life. We're talking about 9, 10, 11-year-olds who cannot give informed consent. Then they have body parts chopped off by a medical establishment and by parents who mean well but believe in these doctors, and they shouldn't. And when they inevitably get past the awkwardness of puberty or what have you, and they want to turn around and detransition, those who love bomb them on Reddit saying, come on in, the water's fine, abandon them. They are depressed. They have changed their bodies forever in a way.
It's permanent. Why do you think you need to be 18 to get a freaking tattoo? Because it's permanent.
That is irreversible. And we are all sitting back saying, it's a remote issue, as Kamala Harris said. It's not remote. It's the issue of our time, both with respect to children and women's rights.
Well, let's back up a little.
You know, it absolutely is crazy. And somebody who really pushed and advocated for gender-affirming care for children is Tim Walz. We really avoided a nightmare with Tim Walz. Megyn Kelly lambasted Taylor Swift for saying, I like Tim Walz's LGBTQ rights. I mean, this stuff is very progressive, and it's causing a lot of harm, unfortunately.
Screw you, Taylor Swift. That's how I would like to begin. This woman has got she's a billionaire. I saw her amazing mansion in Rhode Island. I went to some hotel there, and there it is up on a cliff. You've never seen a more beautiful home. It's one of, 20? She's got so many gifts thanks to all of you. Thanks to your daughters, who you probably had to drag to her concerts, and you want to make your daughter happy, and so you did it, and it's true whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. And how does she thank this nation? She turns around. Not only does she pick a side in a hotly contested presidential election, alienating at least half of her fan base, but she says the reason she's voting for Kamala Harris is because of Tim Walz's LGBTQ stance. Do you know what Tim Walz has done on the LGBTQ front? Tim Walz, let me tell you what's going to happen. Okay, here's what's going to happen.
Tucker Carlson is like so lost. He's like, a lot of people aren't even aware of this because Kamala Harris and Tim Walz just ran on good vibes and reshaping masculinity, reshaping the vibes in our country. Vote for us because of good vibes. It's like, they didn't really you know, campaign on their policies, because I think if people knew what Tim Walz's policies were, they wouldn't have supported him.
Little girl sitting in Wisconsin who's maybe on the spectrum, maybe has acne, maybe is a little heavy set, maybe feels upset because her parents are getting divorced, something like that, is going to find herself down a rabbit hole on Reddit. And her parents aren't going to know because they're getting a divorce and they're not focused on her right now. And she's going to spend hour after hour on that thing, and Reddit's going to tell her she's actually a boy. And she's going to get sucked into this gender cult. And she's going to say, Mom and Dad, I want puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones, which will sterilize her and deprive her of all sexual pleasure for the rest of her life. And they're going to say, no, you're a girl. And she's going to say, but I want top surgery, this benign thing, this double mastectomy where I'll have tubes coming out of me and I'll never breastfeed a child. I want that too, because I'm a boy. And they're going to say no. And she's going to go to a judge in Minnesota, and because of Tim Walz, the court will take custody of her, use the Medicaid funds in Minnesota to provide her all of those things, chop off her breasts, sterilize her with the puberty blockers and the cross-sex hormones. And when this girl inevitably comes to the conclusion that she didn't want any of this, that it only added to her problems, which were the divorce and the acne and the puberty and not any trans issue, who is she going to go to then? This is all because of Tim Walz. That's what Minnesota is doing right now to little girls and boys, taking custody away from the parents so that they can have these procedures without any loving parent there to help. And that's what Taylor Swift just endorsed for your children. So screw you, Taylor Swift.
Wow. Absolutely crazy.
First of all, thank you for saying that. And pardon my ignorance, this is one of those topics that's so upsetting to me. I have too many children, I think. They can take custody?
Yeah, there's a law that Tim Walz signed that says the court can take jurisdiction, which in this instance means custody, over minor children who are not getting the gender-affirming care, which is a lie. There's only two sexes. Gender's bullshit. There's men and there's women. One cannot become the other. And he signed a law saying that they can take jurisdiction over minor children who are not being affirmed by their children and get all of those procedures done outside.
By their parents, I think she means to say. The children who are not getting affirmed. Affirmed meaning their parents, if the parents do not support the child to get it, if the parents go, no, I don't want you to transition, the court will literally take custody of your children so that the kid can get that procedure done. And you don't even need to be 18 to do this. It's wild. And I'm glad that Megyn Kelly is actually talking about this, because I think it's really important. It's a really important discussion. And I think that if we're getting so progressive, so liberal on this topic, there's going to be huge repercussions. There's already people who have huge regrets on this issue. So anyways, guys, big update today from Megyn Kelly. I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts down below.